Every 38 minutes, a child in Alabama is born into poverty. Every 53 minutes, a child in Alabama is abused or neglected. Every 15 hours, a child in Alabama dies before his or her first birthday. Alabama is 47th in the nation for children living in low-income families. Alabama is 48th in the nation for overall well-being of our children. Alabama's children are crying. We cannot ignore their cries. Their future is bleak. Will we accept our God-given responsibility and improve the lives of our most precious resource? My child, your child, our children, Alabama's children. The cost of the suffering of Alabama's children are incalculable. Human costs are a tragedy, but the long-term financial costs are endless. Maltreated children grow up to be disproportionately affected by unemployment and underemployment. On a national level, lost productivity in the workforce has been estimated conservatively at $656 million to $1.3 billion a year. Preventive programs today will cost far less than corrective programs in the future. But there is more to consider than the financial value of these programs. These programs change lives.
Before I got sent to SAFE for the Turning Point program, I was dating a drug dealer. And I knew he was a drug dealer, but I was that phase, you know, it's like, I don't care, you know. I was doing drugs. I didn't think it would work on me, but it did. There is amazing things that happen at Turning Point, and the biggest thing is just don't give up hope and don't disrespect your parents like I did. I love my mother and my grandmother very much, and I love my husband. If I hadn't done Turning Point, I wouldn't be married today.
Not providing successful and accountable services for children and families is breaking the back of Alabama's government and your community. Far too long, Alabama's service delivery system has been inadequate and fragmented. Caring for our children is far less expensive than caring for our prisoners, many of whom were once abused or neglected themselves. Through the support of the Children First Foundation, agencies are breaking the cycle of crime and abuse rampant in our culture.
I was born and raised in Montgomery, and my parents, they raised me up until I was probably about 10 years old. My mom had a nervous breakdown. My dad passed away when I was 5 years old, and had nowhere to go, so I got into DHR custody, and I was placed at Brentwood. Probably about the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. I have a very good friend that I still stay in touch with to this day. We grew up together in the housing community that we was living in at the time, and he's in prison now. He made some mistakes in life that I believe if he was at Brentwood or somewhere similar to Brentwood, that an outreach program that can help kids, he wouldn't be where he is today. Without a map or any type of guidance, and you would be lost. So, and it's places like Brentwood that's a map, and they guide you in the right direction.
A battle is being waged, and Children First Foundation is the tip of the spear. From Mobile to Mentone, from Cherokee to Choctaw, our mission to improve the lives of Alabama's children. What can you do? Join with Children First Foundation and help us shepherd and fight for Alabama's children. It's a fight that people like Vicki Phillips can't afford to lose.
I was having problems with him with the temper tantrums and being first child. I didn't know what was expected, if it was a normal thing or not. Talked to some neighbors and relatives, and they had suggested the Center for Families Building Healthy Homes. Miss Gladys Williams there told me about the program, She'd have us there within the office on session, and she'd watch him there, and she'd make home visits as well to see if what he was doing was actually within the normal of a 2 or 3-year-old. And from there on, we became family.
Being able to set her family on the right course early may have saved them from tragic consequences years down the road. The support she received made such an impact on her life, Vicki now works at the very agency that helped her family. Alabamians must impress upon our policymakers and political leaders that the leaders of tomorrow, our children, need to be their first and highest priority. Our foundation's presence in the legislative halls is vital. Children First Foundation Incorporated has been instrumental in creating some direly needed changes. Initially, we worked with our lawmakers to create the Children First Trust Fund. Every year, approximately $60 million of Alabama's tobacco settlement is deposited into the Children First Trust Fund. Children First Foundation does not receive a penny of these funds. The money is divided among 12 state agencies for specific children's programs. But these funds cannot be spent until the legislature appropriates them to each agency every year. Because of our tireless efforts, this money is beginning to make a remarkable difference. For example, 3,500 parents and more than 1,500 children were served through community-based programs for at-risk youth. Nearly 7,000 children were served through regular foster care services, and 1,400 children were served by therapeutic foster care for those children needing special services. More than 600 children were served through adolescent outpatient services for substance abuse. And your dollars helped to fund the All Kids program, which ensured nearly 70,000 low-income children last year. Year after year, Alabama's children sink deeper into poverty and neglect, with their basic needs being unfulfilled. Lasting success requires well-funded, relentless lobbying to convince our policymakers that our children should be their first priority. By shaping public policy at the legislature and everywhere children's policy is made, Children First will ultimately improve the lives of our youngest citizens. On their behalf, we urge you to commit your time and financial resources to this crucial cause. Join Children First Foundation Incorporated and put Alabama's children first.